150 watts? What? Hello, fellow vapors. Vaping Newbie here, and I went shopping today. Jumped in the car. It was a nice day out. The sun was shining right after a snowstorm, and drove out to Vaporus out on the south shore of Montreal, and picked up the Sigelei 150 watts. And I love Vaporus. I think they're a pillar in the Montreal vaping community, certainly. And I'm always such a pain in the ass to JP, and I'm not quite sure what his title is. But the link for their website and their Facebook page down below. You want to give them a look. Really, really good shop if you're in the Montreal area to drop by. And I always enjoy going there. It's just good people and very good quality and customer service. There's I want to say sorry to the guys on St. Catherine Street because that's where I first looked at this device, but picked it up on Tash Road. Before we get into it, I did want to discuss one important factor. This is a very powerful device. This goes from 10 to 150 watts. And it's important that you understand battery safety. You want to make sure you get the proper battery. So if this is something that you're looking at when you go to your shop, if it's a shop you trust or you buy online, certainly you can go to Vaporus online and get proper batteries. Contact them if you're in the shop. Ask them what is a good battery to have with this, and go with it. You want to have dedicated batteries specific to this device. Now, I've done that, and furthermore, as we go along, you're going to see, and I'll probably say it again, but I'm actually going to label the batteries 1 and 2 that are dedicated to this. I bought some LG batteries from Vaporus, so they're only for this machine. By labeling them, I can switch them out as I charge them. That's always a recommended thing to do. They run in series. It's a lot of fun to have a box like this, but it could also be dangerous. I hate being overly serious, but just make sure that you understand what you're getting yourself into with this device. So we're going to go down below and take a look, see what's in the box. Okay, this is my favorite part of the video, the unboxing. The box was all wrapped up in plastic. Of course, Sigelei, and that's just catching a light. Sigelei 150. Vape it, love it. And then on the bottom it says high wattage, and then the company's name, and on the back the regular warnings, as well as how to dispose of products and recycling and whatnot on the side. Sigelei, and then you have this little tab. Now, to prove that I only open this on camera, the device itself is still in the plastic. It hasn't come out of the plastic. So we'll take a look at that in a minute. What else you get? You get an instruction booklet, and it looks fairly detailed. Now, I have to admit that I did see these in the store before I purchased it, so I know all the packaging that's in there. You have the warranty card, and I'm very surprised. Usually you get an inspection sticker, but it's not in here. So let's take this out of the plastic and see if it's inside. Okay, came out of the plastic, and they have this this clear. I'm not sure I'm crazy about that. The other ones that I've seen were black in color, and but this is a clear protective, for lack of a better term, condom. And now I'm just going to pull this off so we can get to the device itself. Okay, we got that cover off now, and very nice black. It's kind of a matte finish black to it. I like the fact that it's not glossy. It's got some silver or chrome, if you will, around the edge, stainless steel perhaps. And this is available in this black or stainless steel. And I was quite surprised when I did go to the shop. They said they had no black, and they told me it was silver. And when I got it and opened it and saw it was black, I was very, very happy. So I've since contacted them to let them know that yeah, they have black in stock. It has a very large fire button on this side, and then you have your up and down button to adjust your wattage, and as well as put it to sleep, to lock the device. You have your LCD screen. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Quite a lot of venting. I'm hoping you picked that up. That is a lot of venting, and we're going to look at the interior and see why. Not much else. There is no advertising on it. And then you have what looks to be a brass 510 connector right there, and it is a spring-loaded pin, so that'll work for many devices. The inside of this looks extremely, extremely clean. When you're looking at it, it's really well put together, in my opinion. I'm not a box maker, so I couldn't tell you, but it does look very, very, very tidy the way they put everything together. The batteries run in series, so it takes two 18650 batteries. So on one side, you're going to have the positive at the top, and on the other, you're going to have the negative at the top. Inside here, these two connectors for the battery, the contacts, I'm sorry, are spring-loaded. So putting in the batteries, you just simply flip one side. You put in your batteries, which we're going to discuss a bit more. So you put it in the top part of it first, and then click that in. And then you flip over this little pull tab, and then you reverse that, and there you go. Your batteries are in, again, in series. And you have the magnetic top. You'll notice on one side of the magnetic top, there is a lip, if you will, or a tab, and there is a section right here that has a cutaway for it. Give it a good listen. And that shows you how solid that is. Pretty darn good. You have 5 clicks. Now, I want to make sure I get this right. 5 clicks. You get Sigelei, and that's going to be real bright. And now it's ready to go. Oh, upside down. I figured that was going to happen. So it just simply says, check atomizer. So we're going to take a different look at the screen, and we'll be right back. Okay, I wanted you to get a really nice close-up of the screen. So as we look through it, right here is the wattage that you set. Across from it is the voltage that is needed to get the voltage you set based on the build, which is right here, so 0.6 ohms, and the amount of battery life left, so 69%. Which means that it's a pretty nice screen. Now, I haven't had it out in the daylight. I don't know how clear that's going to be in the sun. But right here, it looks really, really good. And, you know, at a quick glance, I get all the information I need. It stays on for a bit, and then it'll go off. And actually, which is a good thing. I appreciate the fact that I can look at it. I have the time. It doesn't just shut off right away. It is fairly clear. So there it goes. It's off. I push the button to activate it, and that'll stay on for a good, I'd say, 10 or 15 seconds at the very least. So we're going to continue our look at this pretty damn good box. Okay, the Sigelei 150 is from 10 to 150 watts, and I wanted you to see the screen. When you're changing it, from 10 to 49.9 watts, it changes in 0.1 increments, whether you're going up or down. From 50 on up, it goes into 1 watt increments, and it's very quick. Hopefully, you're going to be able to see this. And to get the focus on this is extremely hard. So I'm at 150 now. And when we start going down, you see it's in 1 watt increments. And then as you get to 50, it now goes into 0.1 watts. And when you go up, same thing. And it's very fast. If you hold down the button for a couple of seconds, then it automatically jumps into 0.1 increments. Oh, I'm sorry, 1 watt increments. This does have a lot of protection. It has a low voltage protection, high voltage warning, reverse polarity. So if you reverse the batteries, you'll get a warning on that. It does have error codes built in that I haven't come across yet. But if your resistance is less than 0.1 ohms, so it'll go from 0.1 ohms up on your builds. If it's lower than that, you'll get a low res message. If the batteries are lower than 6.4 volts, you'll get a low battery. And then if you get a bunch of H's, it means that the high battery input voltage, I'm not quite sure what that is, but that means that the batteries, in my opinion, are trying to operate at higher than 9 volts, which it won't allow. And then if the core of the operating system is starting to get too hot, you'll get a warning that says too hot. Within the book, there is a warning, and actually people should really pay attention to this. Using the Sigelei 150 for prolonged periods at high wattages could result in high temperatures, resulting in injury. So it's not something you should just push and hold a long period of time. And another safety feature is if you hold down the up and down button, you'll lock the system. So you want to put it in your purse, you want to put it in your pocket, you want to put it in your briefcase. I would recommend that, and that would stop it from firing. It just says, please, I don't know if you can see that, but please unlock. And then, of course, again, you just push the two of them together, and it is now unlocked. Your screen comes on. Without an atomizer, the screen doesn't stay on very long, but that's fine. You usually use that just to adjust. So let's go up top and take more look at this. Before I do go up top, I wanted to walk you through something here. By pulling off this, the backing, I'm popping out one of the batteries. Now, if I push and hold the fire button and push the battery back in, and you see it has the SX350 chip by Yeehee. So that was one of the deciding factors for me on this device. And that you could check with what I just did, pop up the battery, hold down the fire button, push the battery back in, and that keep your finger on that fire button, and you're going to get that message about the Yeehee chip. I don't want to take any credit for that whatsoever. I saw that from Ruby Roo. Okay, so I'm back up top and put my dripper back on, and I've been using this all day, 7 hours straight, and I had tanks on it, I've had drippers on it, and funny thing happened. Two funny things. I put my dripper on it, and in my excitement, I forgot to juice it up. Hit the button at 85 watts, and I'll tell you something. It hurt. This helped, but it hurt. So you want to be real careful. And then, after using it on the dripper for a while, I put on my GT2 clone by Typhoon, and or the Typhoon GT2 clone by Tobacco. And I'll tell you, folks, I forgot to change the wattage. And when you have a 1.4 ohm coil vaping it at 85 watts, you're going to feel that too. So it's been quite the experience for me today. I've been having a lot of fun. But it's doing what I wanted it to do thus far. It's going to be an all-around device. In lieu of using my precious SX Mini, my precious Black Akuma, and Authentic Nemesis, these I don't like taking out of the house. This I don't mind carrying around with me. That lock feature, not a problem. Lock it, carry it around. Happy with it. So I want to use it for a bit before I give a final result, in my opinion. And I'm sorry this video is so long, but I do want to make sure I give as much information as I can. I wanted to show you this before I go on my final thoughts. I put the batteries in fully charged at 6 p.m. last night. It is now 9 o'clock the following evening. The machine had been turned off from roughly 9:30 p.m. last night till 5:30 a.m. this morning. And it's been in full use at 20 watts for the rest of the duration, and I'm quite a chain vapor, as they call it. And I wanted you to see that the batteries are down to 18%, so I was able to get, 27 hours out of it before I had to change a battery, which to me is a lot more than I was getting in any other device. And but there was no low voltage warning detected, nothing. It's still working just fine. So I bought some fresh batteries today because I think I'm going to need 2 sets. Wanted to show you this part before my final thoughts. Okay, so before I get to the final thoughts, I want to tell you a story. I wanted to get an extra set of batteries specific to the Sigelei 150. I walked into the Vaporus near where I work, just around the corner, and I was, buying the batteries, and I picked up some LG HE4s. And they were recommended to me. I went along with it, and they're a bright yellow color. And when I was there, I was talking to the young man that was working there. It was on Easter Monday, so this wasn't their regular staff. So it's not people that I know. I'd never met them before. Really, really nice young man. Don't know his name. JP, I'm sorry. I wish I did. And I just mentioned that I hated the opaque case. He looked at me, smiled, went over, picked up his brand new Sigelei 150 that he had, pulled off a case, not a blemish on it, and handed it to me, and then took my opaque case. So that is just amazing customer service. Young man, thank you very much. And JP, kudos to your staff on St. Catherine Street. Now to the ups and downs. The things that I don't like about the device. It's very hard to read the screen outside. I had it outside in a sunny day. I had it outside in a cloudy day. It was hard for me to see the screen. I wish there was an easier way to lock it. By pushing the up and down together, you will lock the device, and by pushing it, again, you will unlock it. But I wish there was just some way you can lock the device. The speed at which you change wattage. I was vaping between 15, 20, and then up to 70 when I put my dripper on. And by holding the up and down button, it just flew. And I was always sort of going back and forth, and that kind of pissed me off. So those are the things that I find con. Now, what did I like about the device? Well, I'll tell you something. The likes far outweigh the dislikes. I mean, these are just minor things. The thing I like about it is the build quality. It's a very solid device. That back cover with those earth magnets, it's really solidly made, and I don't have to fart around with screws. By using the two batteries and getting that kind of battery life, I'm not changing it every few hours. In the same duration that I put in two batteries and used it for that length of time, I would have changed batteries in my SX Mini 3 or 4 times. So that dual 18650 configuration, really good. The power, and by that I mean the response time. The ramp up time that goes on the build depends many times on the build, if not all the time on the build. But how you access that power by hitting this button very quickly. That would take 3 or 4 times more time with my SX Mini to reach that same power. So it's a device that I can have a lot of fun with, and there's a practicality to it. Yes, it's big. It's a freaking monolith. But at the same time, I sort of knew that going in. And the buttons, I at first didn't like them. Now, there is a bit of battery button rattle, but I do like the buttons. I wish there was an easier way to lock it than holding the up and down and that type of thing, but it is what it is. And I'll tell you, folks, to carry it around in your pocket this summer is going to be interesting. The fact that they throw in this rubberized case, and you know what? It's a nice looking mod without the case, but with the case, it just makes it easier to hold, makes it more comfortable. So again, it's a device that you can have fun with, and yes, you can do the whole cloud thing. It gives you that power that you need. It's also a device that if you have the lower ohms, the lower wattage tanks on it, you can use that as well. Now with the sub-ohm tanks becoming so big on the market, something like this was nearly made for it. I mean, you throw on a Freemax Star, you throw on a sub-tank, you throw on a Delta 2, you throw on, Atlantis, you're not going to have issues. You're going to have that 0.5, in some cases in those tanks, 0.25 ohm coils. You have the power to drive that. So overall, to me, in the length of time that I've been using this, really, really happy with it. Again, I cannot finish this without saying, please, if you're new to this, understand battery safety and get the proper batteries. If you go on to Vaporus.com, $130 for this device is the lowest price I found in Canada. And I'm a person that tries to support North American vendors. I know it's made in China. Irregardless, I'd rather spend the extra money, and that's just me, to support, in this case, a Canadian vendor. And that, to me, just makes sense. I want to keep these guys going. So overall, thank you, Vaporus, for some fantastic customer service. And thank you, Sigelei, for producing a great mod. I know that the 100 and 100 watt plus are big hits as well. So Sigelei, you got something going on. Folks, that's it. That's the Sigelei 150. And I'm sorry it was a bit longish, but I really, again, wanted to give it its due. I'm glad you dropped by, and I always like having you over. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope you got something out of it. Stay healthy and happy vaping. Take care, folks.